Ready Check Radio. What's up, Internet? It's Thursday. It's 7 p.m. Eastern. That means here at twitch.tv/ReadyCheckRadio, it's time for the Relic Grind, our Final Fantasy XIV Square Enix podcast, where we talk about all things Final Fantasy XIV and Square Enix. Imagine that. I'm your host, Mike Byrne, a.k.a. Magic Man, as always, and we've crossed into the 3 digits last week with episode 100. Yay, us.
Yay.
So now we are off to the races for the next 100. Episode 101 coming at you right now. We've got chat hanging out with us live. If you're checking this out on YouTube, on ReadyCheckRadio.com, or Audible, Spotify, any of those podcast platforms, we appreciate it. While you're there, give us a thumbs up, a like, a subscribe, a turn on the notifications, and a comment, and a review, whatever. Yes, we do, Mr. Winter. We have a show for each Dalmatian now. That was the goal. Well, once we're done here today, we'll just wrap it up and shut it all down. That was the goal. We have achieved it. But we appreciate you. We appreciate you watching us and supporting us. If you like what we do here, come hang out and chat on the website there. We've got all the socials. It's really easy to follow us. Joining me to go over every exciting bit from the week, Mr. Chris Montoya, a.k.a. Tarkoth. What's up, sir?
Ratings programs. Man, what a week, huh? Did you like that trailer, that movie trailer last week?
Yeah, that movie trailer.
That Fast and the Final Fantasy XVI Chocobo Drift.
Yes. Well, Chocobo Glide. I mean, there was like a little drift there. I think the ship did more of a drift than the Chocobo, though. Like you look at the wake
to say it's all about family.
Yeah, you look at the wake on the behind that ship, and you're like, that bitch pulled a straight U-turn. Like, no, that is not how ships work.
No, that is not good.
But most ships don't have rockets either. We'll get to all of that, I'm sure. But joining us, brand new host filling in for Kronos. It's Paul Berlin, a.k.a. Flynn. What's up, sir?
Hey, thank you so much for inviting me to the show. Absolutely love what you guys have done for the last 100 shows.
Aw, you're kind. You're like one of the 50 that watch. That's so cool. Thank you. It's the highest quality.
You guys, I've been blessed to have the 3 of you on my own podcast as well. So it's been nice to interact with you in multiple circles now.
Yeah, Within Crisis. We'll plug that at the end of the show, and you guys can go check that out. Both Tark and I and Kronos have been on some, are going to be on some, so definitely check it out. That's more than just like a Final Fantasy XIV thing. Like there could be anything on the boards for that podcast.
Oh, yeah.
You've watched. Jason Winters watched at least 3 episodes of this. It's the highest quality programming on YouTube. Nobody watches. It's fantastic audio, fantastic video, wonderful transitions, fantastic art. We love the 50 of you that watch. we absolutely love it.
We adore you.
We adore you. It's a thing of passion. Hey, before we get started, though, Flynn, welcome as the new third on the host over in Wales. A little bit late your time, so we appreciate you accommodating this to be part of the show. I wanted to, Kronos was like very hardcore raid, that type of stuff. So let's kind of place you in your Final Fantasy XIV experience. When did you start playing the game? What draws you to it? Are you more casual? Are you more hardcore? Are you somebody like, Tark and I are kind of like skew to the hardcore side of the middle? You were like mid-core, if that's a word. Like, where do you fall in? What's your main? Like, give us your 14 history.
Right, let's start. Way back when 1.0 was a thing, I managed to find a copy on for my PC for the lowly price of, I think the exchange rate at the time would have been $2. So
that sounds about right.
Yeah. So picked it up, started playing. Not having a clue how to really play an MMO at all at that point. So you
didn't come from like World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy XI or EverQuest or anything like that.
RuneScape would be the closest, but even in that, all I did was chop down trees. So I couldn't tell you what any content was in RuneScape other than I went chopping trees.
That's what most people do in RuneScape. So you were right at home.
Yeah. So then with 1.0, I spent most of the time chilling in Limsa, fishing on the bridge that connects the town to Middle Lenosha. That is where I spent 90% of my don't have to pay to play time during that era. I do remember it was around the time that Materia was added.
Yeah.
So it was around that time then I stopped playing because my PC decided to crap out.
Probably because of version 1.0. Like you probably
too much barrel, too much battery.
You beat the hell out of your fans is what happened there.
Yeah. So after that, forgot 14 was a thing for a while. Then on comes 2.0. Heard about it, didn't get to play it. Then a friend of my wife's, when we was visiting, I did on in the background during Mortona, back during the transition period of it being built.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, there's a Final Fantasy in there. He was playing Dragoon. It's like, oh, do you want to go? Yeah, try. Did not have a clue how to use the controller at that point. It's like, how do I do anything? And I died to a toad.
Of course.
In Mortona.
Like you do. Like you do.
Yeah. So a few months after that, after I got a PlayStation 4, I managed to pick up, again, a dirt cheap copy of 2.0 for PS3 for about £3. Got a free upgrade to PS4. This is around Circus Tower, I think.
For our American viewers, £3 is about $80. Don't worry about it.
Hey,
the conversion rate, you lose something.
It's pretty much equal these days.
Yeah, forget conversion rates. Just trust me on that one.
Yeah. So yeah, around Circus Tower is when I actually joined. Started as Lancer, went into Dragoon. I've always just being Welsh as well, but the Dragon ties is just common for us to go Dragoon-esque. So yeah, I played Dragoon as my main for until the end of Stormblood. Initial launch of Stormblood, then I switched to Dark Knight just to help out people in the free company I was in. Went through a while there of not really playing, ended up deleting my character at the time, which was Flynn, where my name comes from. And yeah, 8 months later, came back to the game, started fresh, decided, you know what, I'll go a bit more folklore-esque, and went with the name Mithrandir, another name for Gandalf from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Just to go even crazy with just heritage and stuff. And started as a warrior.
Just so everybody that was a dork playing the game was like, there's another dork. Yes.
It is nice that you go
we recognize our own.
Yeah, when you go into Alliance Trades, it's like, me, Mithrandir, that's name for Gandalf, right? Yeah, it's nice to get that. So for a long time, I was more of a casual player. Just come on, hang out with friends, do dailies, just chill, all that stuff. But I'm finally part of a very casual static, to put it lightly. We're a bunch of people who have never done endgame.
Yeah.
So we are now at the point of learning Rubicante.
Oh, cool.
So going from no endgame doing learning Sophia. Since 4 of us had already cleared it, so we helped them through. Then we went to Zodiac to Heidelin. I'm going through the extremes now before we do the Savage jump.
Nice.
Cool.
Nice. So welcome to the show.
I actually wanted to sit and learn and talk.
So am I the most hardcore now of the 3?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. Yeah, because I would consider myself behind you because I don't roll with a static. Like, we run similar content, but you're running it statically. I do it sporadically.
Are you running the ultimate?
Yeah, I do the ultimates. Yeah, I'm way slower than everybody else because I just, get in there and fart around with a party finder for 2 hours for a little while and then don't play it for 4 or 5 days type deal. So you and Kronos were always ahead of me and always completed them before I do. So, yeah, I think that makes you like the most quote-unquote hardcore there, Tark.
Okay.
Yeah.
Quote-unquote, yeah.
Very quote-unquote, yeah. Super quote-unquote. Yeah, well, welcome, Flynn. We're delighted to have you. Being not just a 14 person, I know you personally as an RPG person and a video game person, and, you're going to bring a lot to the show. So I got to ask you the be-all, end-all question. Your favorite Final Fantasy mainline title? You can only have one. Don't give me this. Well, I kind of like 4. I kind of like 6. No.
I'll answer it with my tattoo. It's the best I can do this.
Hey, whoa. Okay, it's on your arm. All right. It's on your arm.
There you go.
Whew. I thought we were about to see
his butt.
Yeah, I thought we were about to get a butt cheek. All right, so I'm going to go 8. I'm going to go with 8 then. Huh? So you like the 8.
There's a squirrel figure right above my finger there.
Well,
All right, hold
One
on.
of the-
I'll move
I
your
think it's
camera
one of
down a
the
little so
original
people can see it.
outline.
There it is.
there he
There
is.
we go. Kind of peek, move the camera down a little bit. So
Move.
what
Yeah.
8 is not one of the ones you commonly hear as
Yeah.
that's my favorite. What brought you to 8? I mean,
Yeah.
the music's phenomenal. You know,
It was the first. I think it was the first Final Fantasy I ever saw. It
That's
wasn't
usually
the
how
first
it works.
PlayStation 1 game
Yeah.
I had seen, but it's
It's
the
hard
first
to
one I'd
overcome that
seen.
nostalgia.
Mm.
Yeah. And weird enough, I was like, I want to play this game after the moment I saw in 8, just because it looked cool. And it
Yeah.
was the car rental service station in Esther. So the future city at the car rental place, I saw about 5 minutes of that, and then I just wanted to play the game. And
Jason
yeah,
Winter
it's
in chat says X2 was a good Final Fantasy game. Fight me. I actually love the combat /
Yes.
costume / job
Yes.
system in
I agree with you
X2
there.
a lot. I hated the plot. The plot was,
The stuff around the combat was like,
yeah, I did like some of the system.
I was a bit disappointed with 10 too, because I did pre-order Unlimited Saga just for that DVD that came with it. That set up 10-2 was like, yeah, they could have gone so much further with this. With that sphere of Shuyin being held in Bavel.
So best villain of all time then.
ooh, that's a great question. There is a correct answer to this.
For me, it's Gaius.
Being a 14 player.
Yeah. Gaius has been up there for quite a while for me.
Did you say
even though
Caius
he's
from
now
13?
redeemed. Gaius van Belzar.
Oh, Gaius. I thought you said
Gaius.
Caius. I was like, what the
Well, I
fuck?
do enjoy
Who
Caius.
picks
from,
Caius?
13 too.
I said Caius. I was like, what? What is going on? This show has just fallen into pandemonium.
We're now seeking a new host for episode 102.
Yes, 102. We're just going to go ahead and need a new host. Well, welcome to the
I have to
show,
bring
my
the
friend.
chaos.
Welcome to the show, my friend. Hey, not a lot going on in 14 this week. We do have Tark the Treasure Trove coming back. Guess what
Yay.
is, yet again, not on the frickin' prize list for the damn Treasure Trove.
Your Taoist Moogle.
Indeed,
Yeah.
not on there again. It was the first thing I checked, and I was like, come
Yep.
on, just
That's the
cycle
first thing I
back
checked, too,
through.
is
It's been
minions.
like 4 Moogle events without
Sorry,
it
dude.
cycling back through. I don't
Sorry.
even remember why I don't have it.
I
Like,
think it's only been on the Treasure Trove twice in its
Twice,
like
yeah.
existence.
Yeah.
So,
But I don't remember why, because every time the treasure trove comes around, I check what's there. Is there a new minion? Boom, go get the stones, go get the damn thing. I must have been like really busy both times to just totally have missed, hey, there's a minion I don't have as part of the rewards. So aggravating. Just circle back around. But that does give us, gang, pretty much confirmation of patch of 6.4, right? That's probably going to be May 23rd now. Like, we knew it was
usually,
late May.
typically,
Yeah, we knew it was
timeline.
going to be late May, so that was kind of like 23rd if they really wanted to kick it the 30th. But since the thing begins on the 24th, April 24th, and lasts a month, it means we'll probably be looking at May 23rd for 6.4.
and live letter then the 12th, patch notes on the 19th.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
sounds
It
about
all
right.
the formula. Very predictable.
It's all mapping up, but really that's it. Like, nothing else. Like, there was no Tark. Did you even see any like drama in the Final Fantasy Reddits or anything this week? It was, but I know we didn't do a show last week, but it was kind of quiet.
Not really.
Yeah.
Did you find something?
No.
No? Nothing?
No.
It seems quite
Nothing.
quiet, to be fair, across the board.
Nothing seems to be on fire. I mean, a lot of people are expressing
I
the same
mean,
concerns that we've
on subbing, right?
expressed. Yeah, a lot of people have expressed the same concerns we've expressed on the show, that like maybe the new patch cadence schedule and the extra 2 weeks, and like, you know, Yoshi P being pulled away to do FF16, although they'll tell you up and down, I'm just the producer, so it doesn't take anything
Yeah.
away. But
Uh-huh.
that's also Business Creative 3, so it's not just Yoshi P being pulled. You know, it's still just, I'm seeing a lot of that kind of angst on the patches are feeling a little bit lighter and they're a little bit further away. I wonder, I mean, Flynn, you probably you probably don't even notice this yet, right? Because you guys are like jumping into content you guys never explored before. So there's like a whole world of shit for you to do right now.
Yeah, but I've been playing this game for years now, so I'm used to how the patch cycles are.
Yeah.
It does get very much a case of, because of it's so rigid, every 4 months you're predicting is a major patch. You just have to make your own content pretty much after week 2. You have to find something to do with your own time, whether it's, capping your tones, whether it's with the PvP, this, that, or the other.
Or playing something else.
Yeah.
So
it has gotten stale over the years. It has gotten really stale. More jobs we get, the stale it feels.
Yeah, we've talked about that before too, kind of like the jobs being pretty homogenized, and we'll see. I mean, the Fan Fest is right around the corner. We know we're going in a whole new direction, hopefully story-wise. Hopefully that leads, and visually with graphics, hopefully that transitions into a whole new way of doing some other things too, particularly gearing. Yoshi P, gearing, please, gearing. Tark, how you faring in Ultimate?
So we've made progress, yay. But we still have this overriding, we can't seem to get, all 3 days on a consistent basis and all 12 hours of those. So it's slow, but there's been progress. I guess we're going to keep going even with the new raid tier. So I'm going to be raiding a lot on 14. I might become a raid logger at that point. Like just enough. I come on the raid and then I gotta go.
Where are you at in the fight right now?
We have seen phase 3, but I'm the only one that's actually 3 for 3 in surviving the transition. So
gotcha.
I'm the man.
Gotcha. You're still never gonna convert to PC, huh?
I'm so comfortable with the controller. I just might as well just play it on the
do it on PC. That's all I do.
Yeah, I still find that amazing because I find it amazing because I know the high end rig you bought like a year ago, and it's like I'm amazed you weren't like you were getting fired up as a streamer and all that stuff, and you bought a nice rig. We talked about all the different parts and everything, and I was like, oh, this dude's surely gonna buy a copy of Final Fantasy to throw it on that beast, and still just boots up his PlayStation 5. Let's go.
I originally bought it for PC. And then I had to switch to console because the X couldn't handle doing controller. So I was like, all right, I'll sacrifice. I'll figure it out on controller and you can go to PC. So, and she has my Kate Sith. She has my Kate Sith minion. I'm sad. Anyways.
I mean, there's a joke there, but I'm not going to. It's like, was that part of the settlement? Was that like? I'll get the kids on these days. You get the kids on these days. This is what we're doing with the house. But damn it, I'm taking the Kate Sith minion. I'll be damned if you get that. That's mine. All right, let's talk about something a little more cheerful than divorce settlements and Final Fantasy XIV minions may or may not being in the paperwork. So, gentlemen, I don't know if you know, but Sony runs a little thing they like to call the state of play.
Yes.
It's basically their, hey, we're not going to E3 show. And the last one, which aired just before the show would have aired last week, but we took the week off to kind of reorganize. They showed a little bit of Final Fantasy. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just about 23 minutes, all Final Fantasy 16. Straight top to bottom. Little Yoshi P at the front, little Yoshi P at the back end. The rest of it was gameplay and systems with Koji Fox doing some voiceover of some various things. So about 23 minutes of state of play. Can I just say first off, aside from this being Final Fantasy 16, Tark, I absolutely adore the state of plays that focus on like 1 or 2 titles.
I agree.
Like I kind of dig their indie showcase stuff every once in a while where they're showing off games that like you never ever have seen, right? I mean, Xbox does that and stuff like that. But damn, I love their state of plays when it's like, we got 1 game, we're going to spend 18 minutes on it. We got 2 games, we're going to spend 12 minutes each on them. Whether it's Final Fantasy or not, I think those are just their better state of plays.
It feels like a better production value.
Definitely does. It doesn't feel rushed, and you can get into the actual content. Like, what am I looking at? Oh, a 2-minute trailer for a game I'm going to forget about a week and a half from now.
What's
What's
funny
next?
though when
a
it's
2-minute trailer I'm going to forget about 6 days from now.
Yeah. What's funny though is when it's a single title, usually it's a Sony title. The fact that it was a third-party title, given the full 20-something minutes, I was like, why isn't this a Square showcase event? And they haven't done one of those in quite a long time. So maybe that's why they're like, oh, it's out of people's minds, so we're not going to do it. But the other part is they put it on Sony.
You're not
and
sure.
It's got a
You're not
bigger
sure why.
audience.
You're not sure why.
No, I'm not sure.
You're not sure
because
why.
it doesn't have NFTs.
Money. Like that. Like that's just it. Like Sony is paying them money for this to be the exclusive, for this to be the PS5 use, the mover, the console. Like Yoshi P's spouting the bullshit line of like this game's only possible because of the power of the PS5. Bullshit. The PC would run it just fine, and it will when it comes out on PC at a later date at some point.
Talking about, the history of Square and their ports. It'll run just fine. Okay.
That's true. Well, I mean, the PC could handle it just
14 side dev team might have a bit more favor with a PC port.
Well, yeah, I mean, maybe they do a little PC work. I don't know if you know. Business Creative has done some PC stuff before for a little while. They've got a little bit of experience. And I'll tell you what, man. This State of Play was a banger. Like, it was an absolute banger. It is at like 1.2 million views on YouTube. And remember, that doesn't count most of the audience that watched it live or would have watched it on a simulcast somewhere or a live reaction stream with their favorite streamers or like those numbers aren't even in there. The YouTube videos at 1.2 million views. They nailed it with this one. They nailed it.
So good.
Even friends of mine who don't play Final Fantasy been talking about it, which is crazy.
Yeah, I mean it's absolutely nuts. The whole thing was gorgeous, and we expect it to. Like we've seen the graphics and Valisthea, the world, and the combats, sparkly effects and the icons and everything. Like we've seen all that before, but everything there were snippets of stuff in this talk that we've seen before.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they were just like brief flashes and then continuations where we would see like the next thing. Yeah, the next portion.
So much.
It looked incredible. It just looked incredible from top to bottom. I don't want to get into I don't want to rehash the whole like action combat versus turn-based. Does this feel Final Fantasy or not? Like Tark and I are on record on this show with our opinions, but Flynn, I'll give you a minute or two here. Like watching this and seeing Devil May Cry Fantasy, does this kind of not make it a mainline Final Fantasy title for you? Or, I mean, are you so late to the Final Fantasy party with like 8 being your first and dabbling in 14 for a little while and then come like is turn-based not associated with mainline in your head to the way it might be for somebody like Kronos or Tark or I?
I've played enough side Final Fantasy games that it's always about the story. As long as the story is good, and it's Final Fantasy, you got your chocobos, you got your Cid, it's Final Fantasy. Your brain can't trick you otherwise. Whether it's action or not, like I'm one of the people who loved 15 when it first came out.
Jumping around with the glaive.
Yeah, it's one of those things that this is like my kid's brain being played out now. And then, I'm doing a summon of Ifrit and 8. And he's doing his Hellfire and it looks cool, it looks amazing. Now we're actually fighting as Ifrit. We're godless, grandiose, kaiju battle. I'm just way too hyped, and I hope to God they don't pull a Kingdom Hearts 3 with these trailers. Yeah,
that's true. That's true. I'll tell you what, though, Tark, it was nice seeing like nods and small things that you're like, all right, if it's going to be Final Fantasy, he's got to have this in here somewhere, right? Like we had previously seen flashes of a chocobo, for instance, in previous footage. In this one, we actually see Clive running around in it and even doing a little glide off of things. So perhaps that's going to be a mechanic to traverse the world and find secrets and things like that, gliding to different spots. But then we also learn about Cid being in the game and Cid's hideaway. He calls a character Mid as well. Then we see a Moogle running the fucking hunt board. That was the one thing I saw, and I was like, oh, no, I'm going to have to do them all. God damn it. But so it was nice to see like all of those nods. We still haven't seen, correct me if I'm wrong, we still haven't seen an airship. We saw a ship in this one that does have rockets, but they kept it on the water. So I don't know if at some point maybe later that ship can fly or not. We know it's not a huge open world. The video did show off kind of like very MMO fast travel capabilities on the world map. So it's not going to be open world like that. We already knew that, but that doesn't mean you can't have an airship, right?
Yeah,
well, I mean,
it could be a way of traversal for cutscenes and stuff like that.
There might be airships, but it's not going to be something that's defining we're exploring with it. The world map is very Final Fantasy X-ish in that way. I was wondering about the linearity. This is kind of showing all of us that no, you're going to go back to these locations that you visited, and you're going to be doing side quests. You're going to be doing hunts. You're going to probably be looking for treasures and puzzles and all that fun stuff. So, getting some more mileage out of these areas than just the first pass through with the story mission. Thumbs up for me on that.
Yeah, and Sid's Hideaway kind of serves as one of the primary, it's not the only, but it's one of the primary hubs for gaining information about or accepting new side quests there, but then also getting new information about side quests that might be elsewhere in the world. Yoshi P also did at the end of this say, hey, we still have 2 months before this game comes out. We're going to be showing more, including side quest stuff, side story stuff, and end game stuff. So like that is still to come as far as getting revealed to us exactly what some of those things are. What did you think? We've seen combat before, Tark, but in here they kind of let it roll, and they also showed some of the ability screens, spending your ability points and getting talents or skills based on which icons you're taking them. By the way, Ramu looked badass in this trailer.
I have a problem with Rama. I have a problem with
really? Oh, I thought he looked great.
The beard being tucked into the coat. I'm like, why? I mean, I kind of know.
Well, that was just like one form.
These things get in the way. They get in the way.
Trying to drag out this beard and
if you're fighting and this is going up into your eyes, it makes sense. Tuck it in, make it look glorious. You're happy.
But we got to see everything we've seen. Besides, there was some footage that when the press outlets got a hold of the game that they were allowed to show that kind of, but that was very vertical slice limited, right? They gave them abilities that you wouldn't have in that area of the game just for the demo purposes. But here we saw Clive whipping into 2 or 3 different icons' abilities in chains, and then finishing it off with Odin's Zantetsuken, right? It was some amazing combos going on here that I was like, damn, that looks smooth. That looks so smooth.
Bahamut stuff looks so good.
Yes.
The tracking circle a la Panzer Dragoon. Oh, we'll talk about that in just a moment.
Yeah, I thought the same exact thing. Yeah.
Oh, this is looking so much better. And I told you after it was done, I was like, I was at a 9. This whole thing put me at a 10. I'm just locked in. Let's go. I don't care if I spent $3,000 for a collector's edition. It's awesome.
Quick question to posit to both of you. Do you ever watch the YouTube videos of Devil May Cry players doing the insane combos?
Oh yeah. I
can't wait for those players to jump into this.
There's like a leaderboard-esque thing in the game, right? They showed the training area where if you swap abilities or pick up. If you swap abilities or get new equipment, you can hop into this training area. It's an alternate dimension, and there were tons of options there. You could have your Torgal dog there or not. You could have this turned on or this turned on or this turned on or this meter or this and this and this. Tons of it here. What enemies do you want to fight? So that you can go in and practice and stuff in there. But as part of that too, there's also a mode where it's I think they referenced it as an arcade mode in the translation, where it's competing for. See how your score for this clear ranks across the world. I was like, that's a cool little feature too. Tark, it sounded like you had something to say on that one.
No, I was like, I'm not really good at the Devil May Cry series, so having a training room is actually kind of appealing.
They did provide a little clarity, because I know we understood it, I thought, but apparently a lot of people didn't. The whole difficulty thing, the timely equipment, the timely accessories. Yeah. So people kind of were confused. Like, they got the idea of equipping the timely accessories, and you can equip 3 of them. And so you can kind of pick, like, I'm really bad at dodging, so I'm going to wear the precision dodge one, and it'll automatically do that for me or something like that, whatever you want to grab. But then they also didn't understand at the beginning of the game that the selection between story mode and action mode, and them also saying there is no difficulty meter, and then them people saying, well, what the hell's the choice there? The difference, they were detailed about it this time. If you pick story mode, the timely accessories are automatically equipped for you. That's the only difference. Like, they automatically equip them for you. Where if you go into the action mode, you're playing the game, and if you want to equip the timely accessories at some point, you can. You just have to put them on. That's the difficulty modifier.
Yeah, if I remember, they said doing the normal mode, you have to find the items or purchase them or whatever later into the game as well.
Yeah. So they did go into a little more detail there. Tark, I'm gonna let you go because we thought the exact same thing. We get to see like the icon versus icon battles, and they showed way more at the end than I thought they were gonna show. Like, we saw Ifrit, we saw Phoenix, we saw Bahamut, we saw a flash of Odin, but they didn't put his name on the screen. They didn't put his name or health bar. He just kind of came down, slashed a tower, and then disappeared. Like, so I don't know what was going on there. We saw Ramu, we saw Titan, we saw a variant of Titan. We saw Shiva. They showed off we saw Typhon, which was one I didn't expect to see. Like, that was really, really cool, showing all of those fights. And yes, the Phoenix Bahamut sequence in that icon fight looked exactly like it was ripped out of Panzer Dragoon, and I am 100% here for it.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead, Flynn, if you have some.
Yeah, it's like, for me, it's Scummy Ships that reminds me of that, which is obviously again referring back to Panzer. But it was that point, it's like, oh god, don't show too much. I don't want to Kingdom Hearts 3 where you've just shown me 80% of the game. Don't. But just watching the B-roll quickly, just to cut it off, whoever was in charge of doing the transitions, doing Phoenix Shift, needs a raise. They are so beautifully done.
Yeah. Tark, you're down for Panzer, right?
I'm down for the Panzer Dragoon, and I was really curious about, because they were saying that each of these big icon fights are going to feel a lot different, like a whole different gameplay mode, and they were showing the Titan and Garuda and Ifrit fight ad nauseum. Yeah, it's a big wrestling mashup fighter style. To see this Phoenix Bahamut fight with this style, now I'm like, now I can't wait to see what else they have in store for us. My mind was blown, and it looked absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
I will say there was one portion that I was kind of like, that looks dumb. That looks dumb.
Oh?
Yeah. So we know the QuickTime events, right? And we kind of laughed at their trying to sell QuickTime events by telling you, like, they're not really mandatory. It really doesn't impact anything. And we view them as slow time events. And we joked on the show that was like, if you ever had to sell QuickTime events, don't ask Creative Unit 3 to do it. Like, this was horrible the way they tried to sell QuickTime events.
We're trying to hide out loading screens.
Right. The thing I did not like was they did kind of show a sequence where Clive gets knocked on his back, and the antagonist jumps on him and is coming down with a dagger, and it's a mash square sequence to trigger a cinematic thing where he kicks the antagonist off of him and throws him away. What I thought was really dumb looking was you're sitting there mashing X, the camera's all close on Clive laying on his back, this dagger coming down towards his throat, boom, he pushes, he punches, he kicks, the guy goes flying back and everything. Clive stands up and the camera pulls back slightly. There's an AI teammate and the Torgal standing there.
Right next to you.
And I'm right
Why
next
did
to you.
they help
I'm
you?
Exactly. I'm like, why was this a QuickTime event? Like, and my AI, you have no control over your AI partners when they join you.
Yeah.
Apparently, they do say they will adapt to the way you play. Yeah, I'll believe that when I see it. You do have some mild control over your Torgal dog, where you can sick him on people and stuff like that. It just looked so dumb doing a QuickTime button mash to get this guy off of you, and Clive stands up, and he's got two friends standing there that were just like watching him get murked on the ground. And they're like, well, I hope that bastard presses square fast enough. Otherwise, Torgal, you want to go eat? You want to go catch some dinner? Like,
Sid'd be like, Clive, I had doubts that you were going to pull through on that. I'm glad you did. And we can keep our adventure going now.
I'm very proud of you.
It'll just be sitting on the side with an apple, just biting it, going, come on, kid, I could have pressed the button faster than that. Come on. Now.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a little weird. Like, the camera panned back, and I had to pause it. And go, I was like, wait, were they just standing at my head and shoulders, just watching me almost get stabbed in the neck? Why didn't just one of them, why'd you force this QuickTime button press thing in there?
I am wondering with some of the QuickTime events if they're just trying to trigger it to quickly load in the rest of what it needs. So that could have been the immediate start of an encounter, just to load the AI in and, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I'm Tark, I'm right with you, man. Like, I was already hyped for this. And yeah, I have my gripes about it not being turn-based and maybe not fulfilling my idea in my head of a mainline Final Fantasy title and what that entails, but this is the reality of where it's going, regardless of whether I like it or not. I can appreciate this as a game. I'm already seeing people, and I have for a long time, actually, Game of the Year when it comes out, just like immediately granting it. And I hate that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, obviously it looks great. We're enjoying everything we're seeing. I think they're going about the marketing in a super intelligent way, which doesn't surprise me because it's Yoshi P having a little more control than just your general Square Enix producer, in revealing, small bits of pieces at a time, not revealing things until they're ready, just like very intelligently marketed. 1.2 million views in a little over a week. Like, you can't argue with that. I am beyond thrilled at what I'm probably going to see here. But to your point earlier, Flynn, yeah, we know the basic concept of how this story starts. But if they don't nail the story, forget Game of the Year. Like, just forget it.
Well, it's got a tall order with freaking Tears of the Kingdom. But yeah.
Like, a lot of the presentation they're doing with the game now, it's like people call it Final Fantasy May Cry. But seeing this as well is more Witcher May Cry.
Yeah.
With the way they do the map. And The Witcher 3 managed to make the world feel alive. Every zone you went into felt like it was meant for that world. So I'm hoping that's what they nail by shrinking down things so they can dance the zones that needs to. And with the age transition, hopefully we'll see side quests you do in this town during Clive's 20s. He'll have consequences when you're back there in his 30s.
Yeah, we'll see. We don't know the intricacy of that. We do know that we start in our 20s in the game, but then they said there's playable content from Clive in his teens, so you can see how he shaped and gotten to where he is today, and then the game proceeds into his 30s. So you're looking at about a 2.5-3 decade span of lore dump sometime in the game. And remember, they said the game proper, what was it, like 30, 35 hours, Tark? 70 to 80 if you did all of the side content.
Yeah, 30 to 40, I thought. 30
Something
to 40.
like
and then 70, 80 if you want to do everything.
This Marble, by the way, looks amazing.
Marble! Oh,
what I was
getting scary.
They looked fantastic. And then when they showed him Clive start fighting him, and it shows Clive at level 5, I was like, really? I'm fighting Marbles at level 5? The hell am I fighting at 10 and 20 and 30 and 40 then? Because Marbles are no joke, dude.
This game wants to kill you.
It definitely does. Doc Holiday in chat saying, I was hyped about it. Now I'm overhyped. yeah, I think it's fair to be. Everything is looking great. Here's the moment I was talking about, actually. Square, 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 square. Don't stab me, don't stab me, don't stab me, don't stab me. Cool. Got him off me. Have a punch to the face. Throw you back. Stand up. Oh, there's a Torgal. Oh, there's an AI companion. What the hell, guys? You just stood there. You just
They did show a bit of this assassin in a previous trailer, I think.
Yeah. I think it was actually in the very first one, wasn't it? This was like the most bad guy that we saw in like one of the very first combat trailers.
This is the first part of any trailer that I've seen him get his ass whooped.
Yeah. Oh, so here's where we start going into like kind of one-off fights. Not the Icon versus Icon, but Clive versus somebody. And in some of them, it's Clive fighting Ifrit and stuff like that before they turn into Icon versus Icon fights. Could these look any more MMO Final Fantasy XIV Trial, Tark?
Oh, yeah.
Like AoEs, expanding from the target, round arena with fire all around it for the Ifrit fight. And I'm like, okay, yeah.
I mean, we saw
here we go.
Superna and Tirada, and line AoEs for crying out loud. So we're like, it did dodge the checkered pattern.
As soon as I saw it, I was like, all right, where's the feathers we have to kill?
I'm well trained on this stuff already. Let's go.
Yep. Yeah. I can't wait. I literally can't. We got 2 months, gang. 2 months. June 22nd, so 2 months and 2 days, I guess, if you want to be super technical about it.
Yeah, I can't wait for it yet. I'm going to be visiting family during the day before the release. So I'll be taking my PS5. I'll be on a shitty little 1080i TV, so it's not going to look amazing. I'm going to be stuck it out for 2
It'll
weeks.
still be gorgeous. It'll still be gorgeous.
Then I'll come home and to the 4K. It's like, right, fresh save, start again. I've learned my mistakes.
The reason Square is in bed with Sony for this one, because of the power of the PS5, it doesn't matter what TV, it's going to enhance your TV that it looks just immaculate, okay? You could be on a tube TV and it's going to look like a plasma. Come on, let's go. Power of the PS5, let's do it.
So there is actually a pre-launch celebration here in the States scheduled for June 11th. So if you're in or around the Los Angeles area, June 11th at 3 p.m. Pacific time, 6 p.m. Eastern. It will also be live streamed, so we'll be able to watch it there and talk about it on the show as well. No other details about anything that they're doing. Those details are going to come later, but that'll be 11 days before the game launches. There'll be a pre-launch celebration live stream coming from the Square Enix team. I mean, all in all, damn. I mean, it rocked. It literally rocked. So good on you, Sony.
Yeah.
Good on you. I mean, I hope the money's worth it. I hope the money's worth it, because you're taking the money, or you're spending the money, and then you're turning around saying, "What if they take Call of Duty from us?"
But to be fair, the relationship between Sony and Final Fantasy has been pretty strong since 7. They always use Final Fantasy to sell PS5s, PlayStations in general, one way or the other.
Hey, Tark, we give you some shit every once in a while for how expensive your collector's edition is, but it's actually becoming not a joke. Some of these PS5 collector's editions are absolutely ridiculous. £999.99. That's about $1,200 US. Legitimately, not the joke I made earlier.
Reselling them?
Yeah, there's people reselling them on eBay. Not just the Final Fantasy XVI one selling for about $1,200, but also the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster Anniversary Edition. You know, the fly-by-night collector set.
Yeah. Under the stealth of night, without any sort of advertising that this is going on. Super limited quantities, you know, enough for like 10 people to get. It's ridiculous. I told Flynn this. I am not picking up Pixel Remaster on the console. I want to so bad.
I refuse to.
I refuse to because I can't get a physical copy. It's just
that's another thing too. Like the Final Fantasy digital cards, Final Fantasy VII digital cards we've talked about on the show.
Yeah.
The cards themselves look gorgeous, you know. And one or two of my local game stores where I play Final Fantasy TCG, they have them, and I've wanted to pick up a box or two, but I'm like, I can't. I can't support this. Like, I know they're not selling the NFTs. That, like, the product is actually physical cards and they are gorgeous, but they are random, so I don't want to get involved in trying to grab the whole set. I already do that with Final Fantasy TCG. But, you know, they do have the NFT stuff in there to try and entice you to get on their stupid platform and everything. And I'm just like, I can't support this. As beautiful these cards are, I'll wait till somebody's selling a full set somewhere and I'll give them the money. Kind of like, you know, if you want to boycott an Activision title, go buy the game used, right? Because Activision gets none of that money.
Baron's asking if I'm reselling. Well, as of right now, I paid $3,500 for it, so I probably have to resell.
You gotta wait a little while. Yeah, you gotta wait a little while. You gotta wait a little while.
Maybe in a year. I don't open it. That's it. I just don't open it. It means I don't play it. Oh, that doesn't sound good.
Hey, so guys, I figured Flynn's here. Let's have a little guessing game. Welcome to the show, guessing game. Okay. I was interested, and this is Square Enix, right? As a whole. So not, you know, this was Square, this was Enix, then it was Square Enix. Like, this is just Square Enix as a whole, treating them as if they were all one company for all of history, right?
Yeah.
I have in front of me, I was very curious, like, what is the best-selling Final Fantasy? What is the best-selling Dragon Quest? What is the best-selling this? And then that kind of turned into, I was bored doing the show notes, and I was like, yeah, I need something to close the show with. Let me just look at their best-selling games, period. Like, just Square's best-selling games, period. So I'm going to tell you, I'm looking at their 30 best sellers on the software side of things. And remember, it doesn't matter if it was made by Enix when it was just Enix or made by Square when it was just Squaresoft. They're all on this list or have potential to be on this list because they're all in the Square Enix library. I will tell you that the top 50 list only includes things that have crossed the 5 million unit mark.
Ooh.
Okay. So every single game that is on this top 30 list has sold at least 5 million units. Tark.
Yeah.
What is the highest selling Final Fantasy mainline title on this list, and where do you think it falls?
I think it's Final Fantasy X. And where it falls as far as the overall of Square Enix, maybe fourth.
And remember, chat, just to be clear, because I know people are going to go, well, Final Fantasy XIV has made the most money over time, and 11 was before that. We're not talking about cash. We're talking about units sold. So how many boxes?
10.
How many boxes? So you're going to say Final Fantasy X, and where do you think it is, roughly? I'll give you within like one. Fourth or fifth?
Yeah.
Okay, you nailed where Final Fantasy X is. It's fifth.
Oh, okay, cool. It's not the top, though.
It is not the top.
Wow.
It's not even in the top 3.
Oh, Jesus.
Final Fantasy X is fifth on the list with 10.1 million units sold.
Yeah, I knew
10,177,600 to be exact. So there are 4 titles above it in the Square Enix library. 3 of them are Final Fantasy related.
Wow.
Flynn, can you mainline Final Fantasies? Flynn, can you name one of them?
Are we counting re-releases as well?
I would say
Probably
I'll put it this way: we could, but there would be like a clear difference between a Final Fantasy VI on the SNES versus Final Fantasy VI as part of a compilation on the PlayStation 1. Final Fantasy VII on the PlayStation 1 would be different from the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Like, they would be separate entities. They would not have their sales combined.
Yeah, more obviously, like, 7 would be my guess, but it's like it came out on PS1 and it came out on the PlayStation Store and re-released as itself multiple times.
Right, but that would count. That would count. Like, if it was a PlayStation 1 discs and you bought it, or the PlayStation 1 version went on the PlayStation Store and you bought it, those would count as Final Fantasy VII. What wouldn't count is if you bought the Final Fantasy VII Remake. That would count as a box unit for the Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah, I'd have to go 7.
Where do you think it is?
Top 3.
It's top 1.
It was number 1, huh?
Number 1. Final Fantasy VII, 13.258 million. 13.25. That means, though, Tark, that there are 2 other Final Fantasies that are in
Ooh.
between Final Fantasy VII at number 1 and Final Fantasy X at number 5. One of them should be super easy. Just, okay, yeah, 11 and 14, they make a ton of cash.
Yeah.
But
They don't.
one of those has also moved a lot of boxes.
Would that be 14 then?
Yeah, 14 has
expansions.
moved a ton of boxes. A ton of boxes. 10.5 million. That puts it at 4th. So somewhere in second and third, there was one more Final Fantasy. I would be stunned. I was shocked by this. I'd be stunned if you got this.
Was it 15?
And maybe it is. It's fucking 15. 15 comes in at third, 10.9. As far as, and I don't know the exact date, so let's say that these are the sales numbers within like the last 6 months, 7 months or so. 14 is going to pass 15 very quickly here, particularly with an expansion coming up. But right now, as of these, it was third.
Crazy.
Here's the
With
interesting
the hype train
thing.
behind it, I'm not too surprised.
Here's the interesting thing. At number 1 is Final Fantasy VII. 3 is 15. 4 is 14. 5 is 10. That means number 2, based on what I've told you, goes to a non-Final Fantasy game, Tark. What is it?
Dragon Quest 11?
Nice try. Got a guess, Flynn?
Oh. It's because you said Square Enix, like, yeah, they did have Tomb Raider for a while.
Look at you! Look at the big brains on Brad. He got it. It's Tomb Raider. The 2013 Tomb Raider sold 11 million units.
Wow.
Yeah, the 2013 one. Rounding out the top 10, Final Fantasy VI is number 7th, and that includes the SNES Classic bundles. 8 is Tomb Raider 2 at 8 million units. 9 is The Secret of Mana, including the SNES Classic bundle. And number 10 is Final Fantasy VIII for you, Flynn, at 7.7 million. So a Dragon Quest title does not even hit the top 10. Not even hit the top 10.
Maybe that's why they're reworking combat.
Where do you think the highest ranking Dragon Quest is, Tark, and where is it on the list?
I think it's got to be 11. I mean, I feel like that sold like gangbusters, especially with the re-releases and the S definitive editions. But knowing all that, maybe 15th.
Close. 11th is a Tomb Raider game. 15 is a Tomb Raider game as well. So is 13, Rise of the Tomb Raider. 14 is Kingdom Hearts 3. 16 is Nier Automata. And number 17 is the first Dragon Quest. Flynn, can you name which one it is?
I'd say 8.
That would have been my guess too. It's actually Dragon Quest 3. Yeah,
that was a good
which
one.
I can't argue with.
One.
Yeah, Dragon Quest 8 actually comes in at 23rd with it's just closing in on 6 billion units. It was actually a pretty surprising list. What I think was the most surprising is a Just Cause game makes the list. Just Cause 2.
Wow.
Comes in at 19. And then everything else is either a Tomb Raider, a Final Fantasy, a Kingdom Hearts, a Dragon Quest, or the one lone kind of Nier Automata and the one lone Secret of Mana. There is not a Hitman on this list at all. There's so many other Square properties that I'm just like, wow. They even 10, 15, 20 years later, they never crossed the 5 million mark.
Does Square still own Taito?
I don't think so.
Yeah, because I was thinking, that's where my brain was going. It's like, it's got to be some sort of retro game. Because, like, you look at sales of, some of these Space Invaders.
Oh, no, I'm wrong. Apparently, it still is. Yeah, apparently it still is as of right now. It's still owned 100%, a wholly owned subsidiary of Square. But yeah, as far as gross revenue, Space Invaders, to your point, is the top of the list. Estimated gross with no inflation is 3.8 billion in revenue. With inflation, that would be 14.4 billion from Space Invaders, and then Final Fantasy XIV is right behind it with 11 right behind that. Interesting. Yeah, I just thought it was a little interesting. But I do have to say, what the hell, man? I'm Square just tripling down, and IGN is the headline dead on here, tripling down on the whole blockchain shit, even as other publishers are just fleeing it. Square Enix announcing a partnership with Elixir, which is a Web3 gaming platform with the intent of, quote, creating visibility and adoption of Web3 games among traditional gamers. Basically, IGN kind of pegs it. You know, this seems to be a platform, like a digital distribution gaming platform, that kind of wants to put Web3 games right alongside non-Web3 games so that you as the consumer will just generally start accepting them as part of your digital storefront and maybe not even bother researching which ones are Web3 blockchain related and which ones aren't. And Square Enix wants to be a part of that, so they've signed a new partnership.
Yeah.
Yay.
I don't think it's fully down to just Square Enix wanting to push it. It's also like the Japanese Prime Minister pushing it like no tomorrow as well.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's so many subsidiaries for game companies now. Yeah, invest in this and we're going to relieve some of the tax costs for you. And with Square wanting to just make extra money at the minute, I'm not too surprised they're trying to push it more. Because it is Japan. New technology. We must push. We are the technological leads.
I don't, and maybe I'm just oblivious. I don't hear about Sony or Capcom or Bandai Namco pushing this crap on us. So like, maybe Square is desperate for money. I mean, they did sell 3 studios for $300 million. So I don't know.
That turned around and bit them right in the ass.
Yeah.
Embracer was like, "Hey, Amazon, sign this $600 million contract, and we'll let you borrow the Lord of the Rings IP. We'll let you borrow it."
We made our investment back, and we didn't have to make a game.
Speaking of investment, Tark, before we head over and do Love It or Leave It, you bought a game this week because it finally hit your break price point. What did you buy, and what was the price you ended up getting it?
We got Forspoken.
Look at that. Well, you said you were going to, but you were going to wait till it got discounted a little bit.
Yeah.
It wasn't worth $70. It was mediocre, blah, blah, blah.
So I was waiting. I figured $39.99, that $40 mark seemed right for this game and all the reviews and everything.
Oh, okay, cool. So you paid $40.
No, I didn't. No,
you got an even better deal.
Yeah, I got an even better deal. Yeah.
Oh, cool. How much?
What it says? 29? No, less than 30. Did I get it for 20? Nope, less than that.
You must have bought it used then. That's used, right?
No. This is properly sealed.
Oh,
with the L. Yeah, if regular fully, this is brand new.
You didn't pay $20 for it?
I didn't even pay $20. I didn't even pay $10. I didn't pay a single penny.
Steal it?
No,
did someone just throw it at you? Is it just play this game?
Someone threw it at me and I caught it. Yes, that's it. That's what happened. I accidentally bought this. Here, you can have it. No, that's not what happened. No, GameStop had a deal, one of their buy one get ones. So I bought I made sure so that it can't even catch me on a technicality here. Okay, I made sure to buy a new copy of Fire Emblem 3 Hopes because a used copy would have been cheaper than Forspoken. So I bought a new copy of 3 Hopes.
Oh, yeah. So then you would have paid for Forspoken and gotten Fire Emblem for free.
Exactly. And then I'd be caught on the technicality. So I bought a new copy of 3 Hopes and I got Forspoken for free. I was looking for
Square Enix is like, I got this stack of coasters. You want one?
I was literally looking for anything else to spend that get free on anything else. But everything else I either had or didn't want. So I was like, well, I guess I'm getting Forspoken.
Screw it. Let's slide over and do Love It or Leave It. Tark, you should throw that into your bundle for your collector set. You want to buy my collector set? You also get Forspoken. It might bring the value down. It might. Never mind. Don't do that. Don't do that. Hey, Love It or Leave It is the way we end every episode of the Relic Grind here. It's where I give you something Square Enix related. Could be a game, a feature in a game, a press release, something they did, something they said, or even just something tangentially related because it's my show and I'm allowed to do whatever the hell I want. And you tell me whether you love it, want more of it, or leave it. And I'm going to make it real easy for everybody because I want people to put it in the comments, their feelings. Did you feel as excited as we did for this. So, Tark, love it or leave it, the state of play.
I'm begrudging Square getting so invested in Sony, but not actually making the jump to be part of Sony, and cutting Xbox out and throwing a few giblets and little treats over there to Nintendo to keep them placated. But like, don't these two just need to get together? Like, why is this a state of play? This should be a Square showcase. God, I'm so mad about. No, this was awesome. I loved it. Yeah, I want more of it.
That's what I thought.
It was so good. It was so good.
Doc Holiday in chat highlighting it in all caps. Love it. I got to agree. Like, it's a kind of a no-brainer for me. It was great, but there are some people that maybe this isn't just. This was kind of like, well, I really know what I'm going to get, and this isn't what I want in a Final Fantasy mainline. So definitely let us know in the comments whether you love or leave this state of play in particular for Final Fantasy XVI. That's 2 love it's. Flynn, I'm going to give you the final word as your first ever Relic Grind.
Simply inject it in my veins. I need it now.
I'm going to say that's a love it. Gang, that's going to do it.
Love it, yes.
That's going to do it here for us on the Relic Grind. Yes, Faye will be streaming after the show, so chat, don't go anywhere. She just couldn't be here pre-show to make sure that she was introduced during the show proper. So we'll relabel the stream and bring it back up. We'll, of course, be back next Thursday. Remember, no Gaming Gumbo this Saturday. I'll be in Florida at Final Fantasy Trading Card Games' first Materia Cup in North America for like 3 years now. It's going to be finally nice to have a tournament about 100 people and try and lock in my Nats qualifier, if possible, early in the competitive season. That way I can just schmack around for the rest of the competitive season. We'll see what happens, though. There's going to be plenty of competition there. So no Gaming Gumbo Saturday, but we'll be back next week. Until then, Flynn, wonderful job, my friend. Where can everybody follow you?
You can follow me on Twitter at Flynn_Lawlight. You can find me over on Twitch at Within Crisis. I swear like a trooper. I am Welsh. I will swear non-stop. Just a warning from this family-friendly environment. And
Not
also follow us on Twitter.
And those in the UK use the C word, as a normal.
We're like the Australians. It's a greeting.
It's a greeting. What about you, Tark?
Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, all at Tarkoth Gaming. Playing Final Fantasy XIV, just raid logging pretty much. I need to get back to Omni, but it's like such a struggle. I got a PvP. God, there's so much to do in 14. Let's see. Ready Check Radio, Saturday nights playing Final Fantasy 15. We're on chapter 6. We got Garuda. That was awesome. That Final Fantasy 14 crossover. And follow me on Twitter where I talk about my struggles with quitting smoking. So that's always good.
I'm Mike Byrne. You can follow me right there. Well, I put the slide up at Magic Man 1, but more importantly, follow at RC Radio, RAIDEO, and you'll know every time we go live with a podcast or one of our streamers is hanging out, and you should too. Until next time, gang, stay safe. We'll see you on the servers. Later.